Hello,
Hello.
I'm here with Mr. No Code Pro Code. And today we are going to build a native toddle mobile app, which is the thing that you technically, I think we've said several times to a lot of people that it is something you cannot do in toddle. You can't build mobile apps, it is just for web. But today we're here with No Code Pro Code, who's going to prove us all wrong.
And the editor to do that is 100% built in toddle.
It is indeed. So we're going to use a tool called Despia. Do you want to tell us a bit about what Despia is, and maybe just briefly
Absolutely.
about the story behind Despia and why you started it?
Yes, absolutely. So Despia lets you turn your toddle application into a mobile application, and it's a hybrid framework to do so. So it does render your your toddle web application into a native mobile application and compiles everything, and then you'll get at the end of that conversion about 2,000 files in the native, device language, such as Swift or Java that you can then, edit and all that stuff, or send it directly to the App Store or Google Play Store. Now, this lets you do that conversion, and it does let you add native functionalities inside of your toddle workflows so that you can build your whole native app logic directly inside of the toddle editor. And now a new feature that we just added yesterday, you can now run also your toddle workflows in the background while your app is closed at any time by any triggers, and have those things been watching even while your phone is on sleep to track users location and all that stuff. So that's exciting. Why I built that was I used to use things like Flutterflow, like DraftBit, and the issue I found is that those no-code mobile app builders are very limited when it comes to styling, very limited when it comes to formulas and functionality I can add. For example, in Flutterflow, every time I want to have some sort of adding of things together, I have to write Dart, I have to write code. And usually a lot of other no code tools, even front end tools, have those issues. When I found toddle, I was like, this thing is perfect. I got my formulas and it's computational complete, right? I can do everything I want to do visually now. And I want to take that power of toddle and use it to make mobile apps, because those no code solutions to make mobile apps are quite limited out there. Also when it comes to UI and styling, right? You have more possibilities when it comes to styling on those web tools than you have on most of the no-code mobile app builders. It looks like they're all built for, like, I don't know, like marketplaces or and nothing else. And this kind of like why I had the idea to build it, because it was a problem I had myself, and I built it. And first version, I built a custom code and with all kinds of frameworks, and it didn't work out that well. And then I found Toddle, and I rebuilt everything in 2 weeks on the front end, and that helped me launch it. So without Toddle, this wouldn't be possible as well. So I want to also thank Andreas and the whole Toddle team so much, because otherwise we still wouldn't have this technology out there if it wouldn't be for the amazing Toddle team.
It's really good to hear. But yeah, and I've obviously taken a little bit of a sneak peek at Despia, but we're going to be looking at it today and see how it works, right?
Yes,
And sharing with people what you can do.
exactly. You want to
So
you want me to start sharing my screen?
yeah, in a second. Before that, I would
Sure.
say, like, anyone listening who have a question, just type it in the chat. Like, we've got people tuning in from YouTube and X, and I think even LinkedIn. So you can type a question either of those channels. We'll see it here, and we will answer it. Some of the questions we'll save for later, but if it's something specific to what we're talking about, we'll make sure and try and answer it right away. So
Perfect.
yeah, do you want to share your screen and then tell us a
Sure.
little bit about what we're building today?
Sure. Do you see my screen already? Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, today the idea is we're going to build a to-do list, or like a reminder app, right? Because everybody's building to-do lists. We're going to make something even cooler. We're going to make a reminder app, and Andreas is already invited in the project, and you can see he's already making changes here. We have a chat feature. So what I have done is I create a toddle project here, right? And Andreas is invited. That's very important. So when I get stuck, he can help me. And what I did connect my toddle application now with the Despia editor, where I have access to versioning and all those things on the app. Under remote HTML document, that's where Despia gets the UI from. I just put, in this example here, my toddle branch, so I can, test it when I do real-time changes. And then, I already uploaded an icon just to make sure that we save a little bit of time, and a splash screen. I can adjust all those things inside of here too. If we were to work with remote push notifications, I could add my one signal integration here, or add biometric app lock if I want to have Face ID, or for in-app purchases, add my shared secret. I can edit my offline screen. We have all those settings inside of here, but most of them are already set up that way that we don't need to do that. But actually, we don't need swipe navigation for this one. So I have everything already set up inside of Despia that we need. So the thing that we're going to do now, where the most work now happens, and that's kind of like the whole idea behind it, is we're going to go to the toddle editor. And this is where we will build our mobile app. And Despia will be then putting that all together and turning it into a native mobile application with all the native features. And the key to get access to those native features is to go under the packages inside of Toddle, look for the Despia package, install that, and this will allow you to then access all those native functionalities inside of Despia as well. So that is where all the magic happens once we have that set up. And then actually, I think I have to do one more change that I forgot. That is the light and dark mode color, because Andreas loves dark mode. I don't want to risk making a light mode here and upsetting him. So we're going to make this now all dark here. So both modes are dark. This will make,
I mean, Despia looks pretty dark as well, to be honest.
Yes. I mean, I like dark mode too.
Excellent. I think the old developer pun is that bugs are attracted to light. That's why we keep using dark mode.
Beautiful. So, you want to get started now with the toddle thing?
Let's do it.
Beautiful. So the beautiful thing about the toddle editor is you can, work nice with web, you can work nice with mobile, and it's all beautifully responsive. So we'll start with an iPhone 15 here, right? And we kind of like want to make an UI. I think we want to make a simple reminder app, and we can just make it work, for example, with local storage. So, this is kind of like a toddle tutorial here almost, where we're going to do the stuff that makes our mobile app inside of here, and then we use the package to add that native functionality. So inside of here, I want to create a variable, for example, called reminders. So the idea is I want to make a reminder app that reminds you and sends you a push notification whenever you have created a reminder, and when that reminder is due, to kind of like schedule those. And then you can see your reminders as well. So we probably want to start with an array inside of here. So let's add an array. And then we kind of like want to just add one sample value, so it makes it easier for us to structure that. So the reminder, of course, needs to have an object. So we have multiple items in here. The first key is probably name, right? That will be walk your dogs. Here you go. Walk your dogs. And then we need a timestamp when this will trigger. So I want to do timestamp. And then, let's just put, for example purposes, now, and then we'll turn this into a timestamp, right? And then I just copy that and paste that in here to get a sample timestamp. Here you go. And that's pretty much it. It will be a simple app, and then we probably want to be able to mark those things as completed. So completed false. We do the whole process as we do it inside of Toddle. So we have an example reminder in our reminder app. Now I just want to add a heading here, heading 2, right? And I want to align those things to the top, right? Here you go, top side probably. And we want to add a little bit of padding. So we want to do 1 rem and 1 rem.
Or like seeing you using proper text units there.
Huh?
Well done. I like you're using proper RAM units for texts and padding, so
Yeah,
everything's
yeah,
very
yeah. Like,
scalable
I
if
don't like
want to
people
customize.
using pixels. Pixels are, it'll make it way harder if you try to make things responsive. So I should do in here open reminders, open reminders. Here you go, open reminders. And then we kind of like want to render our list of reminders here. So I'll add a div block here, and I want to make that width 100%. And then I will kind of like render my list of items in here. So I put a div in here, that'll be my item. I want to repeat this item with my reminders, right? And then what I want to do inside of here, I just start already adding my heading 4, probably. I'm going to make this dynamically rendered from the item. I put my name in here, walk your dogs. And then I probably want to add another span inside of here. And I'm going to add fx. And I want to go item with a timestamp. And then I need to date from timestamp. And now we probably want to do format date. Now, Andreas, oh no, actually that looks good. I just wanted to ask for your help, but I think that looks good, right? You want to do locale.
Honestly, I can never remember the formatting options either, so I have to look them up every time.
Yes, that's why I just wanted to ask you.
Yeah. But if we're okay with that formatting, we'll just leave it with that. Otherwise,
I think it's beautiful formatting. So let's make this size 13 pixels or something. Here you go. And then for all the designers, let's add a custom font in here, right? Because in Toddle, you can now add the Vercel font, the one that everybody on Twitter loves. Yes, here you go. And now we can make it look like a mobile app built by Vercel. Here you go. Makes it already look high quality. Look at
Very
that.
nice.
Look at that. So we probably want to wrap this in a divs to kind of like have a little bit control of styling. So I'll wrap this in an element. I'll copy that div, put it inside of here. Let's give it a gap of 1 rem. Then we make a width of 100%. Beautiful. Now we kind of like want to have those items
very good
set up. We do 0.5 rem, or maybe a little bit more, 0.75 rem and 0.75 rem. So we got those nice items here, right, where we can complete, mark, and unmark our tasks. We want this to stand out a little bit. So we're going to create like a very subtle background color for this. Look how beautiful that looks. And we want to add like an 8-pixel border here. Oh, I think I added that to the, added to the wrong item. Let's go one back. Here you go. On this repeat item, I want to add border 8 pixels. Look how beautiful that works. Walk the dogs, got the deadline here. And then I kind of like want to have like a checkbox kind of like to complete that task, right? To update that. So I want to wrap this in an element, put the span under here. Then I want to go in here, add a div to kind of like structure those things. Let's just make every developer's dream a checkbox made out of a button, not out of a real checkbox. And then we're going to make this go to the side, and we're going to center, double check, so it lines it to the side. Here you go. And and then we can also show a completed badge or something like this here, or we would probably move it somewhere else. So we're good. And then let me go to Relume icons to get like some SVG icon for a checkbox. So I'm going to do in here. That looks good, right? We'll take that, copy for Figma, and I'm going to put that inside of here.
They didn't add a copy for Toddle.
No. But the copy for Figma works for Toddle, if that makes you feel better.
No, it'll be the same thing. Just, I mean, Figma doesn't own SVG. Yeah.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Toddle could buy it, right?
Yeah, probably.
You got enough investment, right? You could.
I'm not sure SVG as a concept is for sale. No. I don't know if this.
You can invent a better one. You make it all in HTML.
Yeah, well, I mean, it almost is though. Yeah,
It's pretty much the same. Yes.
pretty much it.
There you go.
Looks
Looks good, right?
Yeah, it looks very good.
Got the
You're a much
check.
better designer than I am.
I appreciate it.
It
Yes.
wasn't that much of a compliment.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. You are the CEO of Toddle. You've done something right with design, right?
Yeah, well, that wasn't me. That was the other
I mean,
guy.
but you hired the right people, so you know.
I did do that. That's true.
Here you go. Here you go.
Thank you. I'll take some credit there.
Yes, yes. Let's just actually do this with reminders, right? Just reminders, because open reminders is pretty useless because we see if they're checked or not. Here you go. So we got that. Reminders. Looks beautiful. We're rendering the list. That's it. And then we just kind of like want to show this SVG dynamically. So I want to do show height. I go to the item, completed. I want to show it if completed equals true. And then
you should just be able to say completed, can't you?
Yeah,
I think
but
you can skip the last stuff.
I just want to show the
clear.
check.
Fair enough.
I think that's cooler, right? Now we just want to do width to rem by 2 rem, right? So we have fixed. We want to remove hover, and then here we go. And now when I go on this button here, right, and I want to go on event, on click, and then on click, I'm going to go setting the reminders array, and I take the current reminders array, and I'm going to use the set filter to set the path of the index. And then I'm going to use the reminders array to get the path of the current index. And then I'm going to use the set filter again to set the completed to be the current, probably true, right? Because if I, or we could also make it more smarter where it just uses the not, so I can uncomplete things too. So we'll take that here. We'll get that, and then we get again. It's going to look terrible now. The completed one, and then I'm going to add my not inside of here. And then I got my formula.
Do you want to see? There's a little trick you can do here.
Oh, there's a little trick.
There's a trick you can do to make that much simpler.
Oh, so I don't know about that. Let's try. No,
it's a very nice trick, and we didn't have it for a long time, and then we implemented it because we got tired of writing too.
Why didn't you tell me?
It's a secret trick. So the trick is if you on the set, if you zoom in on the very last set formula, like the very right one, and you zoom in on that, you can see there's kind of like if you all the way in, so I can see it a little bit. Yeah, you can see there's like the object, and then there's the path. And then there's the value. The reason why it's called path is because you can actually put in an array there. And then you can set deep properties. So if you change that to be an array.
Oh, no way. You're not, no way.
And then the first item is the 0. And you just add another one there. And you say completed. Then you don't have to get out the whole next subtree you don't need to do. You can just do the whole, like copy the not part. Yeah. So the reminders. And I think you can actually use item because you're repeating here, right? So you can use like the repeat item. Yeah. Item and then complete it, not.
No way this is possible.
Yeah.
You got to make a video. I ain't got to make a video about this now. Come on.
But then it wouldn't be a secret trick, though.
Yeah, but like you would like.
That's why we tell some of our best educators, so they have these little bombs they can drop every now and then.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we should probably make more videos about that one.
Yeah, I need to make a video. I mean, you got to tell us, right? So we got that in here, and now we can,
It by the way, it works with get and it works with delete as well. So you can always pass in either of those. You can pass in an array.
Unbelievable. So now I can check and uncheck those, right? That's cool. So now I got my very simple to-do list app. Now, we kind of like want to now add the functionality to create new events, right? That is this kind of like where the native functionality comes in. So we probably, actually we could, what's the best UI? I don't think we need, do we need a mobile bar for an app that has one screen? we can add one, right? So let's add a mobile bar. And then I just add a plus down there to kind of like take care of that. So we want to do with the 100%. Let's do height 3 rem for now. And what I want to do, I got that all in here. Let's do an interesting approach. We'll actually remove all that size inside of here. And we go in here, wrap this in a div block. I'm going to make this width 100%, height 100%, sides 1 rem, top and bottom 1 rem. And I'm going to then make the size flex 1 so it auto adjusts. Here you go. And then this is app content. So I can just add a tag app shell. Am I allowed to do that? And then I got my div here. That's kind of like my bar. And then I go into the app shell. And if I need to scroll inside of the app shell, I'm just going to add my layout scroll in there to kind of like make it look better. And then, I can go in here and also give it a max width, for example, of 25 rem. And then this should probably want to wrap it in an element or go in here and make a max width 25 rem. Here you go. And then I want to go here, make a max width 25 rem, and I want to center that, right? So I can also use it on desktop, right? Thinking hybrid. I don't want to make it too responsive today. We're running a little bit on a time crunch, but that's the idea. And then I just add a very simple mobile bar here. It's just a button. And it will be just a button with a plus. So I'm going to go back to Relume icons. I'm going to look for add. Ooh. I will do copy for toddle. And then I got that.
You can do like a Arc plugin that'll just override that specifically on the. I'm just saying if you want.
Oh, there is I can make an Arc plugin to just every time I'm in a video, it will say like.
It'll say copy for toddle instead. That one place on the internet, yeah.
Very cool. And then, I got my maximum width. I want to do top and bottom 0.5 rem. Actually 0.75 rem. And then 1 rem sides. Here you go. For mobile apps, generally, you want the bottom to be like 2 rem, a little bit more, because you have like the mobile bar to make it a little bit more accessible, right? We got that button here. And then let's make that button gray 700 so I can add new tasks in here. And there you go. That is pretty simple application, as you can see. So now what we want to do is when I click this, I want to show a modal. But now is where we can actually start adding some native functionality. So on this button here, on event, on click, I can just add haptic feedback, Despia haptic feedback, and then the mode can be heavy.
Ooh.
So, here you go, heavy. So the phone is going to vibrate. And then I have also the callback once it was vibrated. So I got my heavy haptic feedback in here. So now every time I click this, it's going to vibrate the phone. So that's already the first native functionality that we're going to add. But then we want to show a modal, right? So I want to create a variable here called show modal to create a new task. So I set my initial value inside of here. Initial value will be false. And then when I go on this button here to click on here, I'm going to then do show modal true as an example. So now we got haptic feedback inside of our application already. Now,
nice.
What? And then we will be.
That was very easy, by the way.
It was very easy. Yes. If you ever made a mobile application, you know what kind of a nightmare haptic feedback is. Adding that. So when I now actually go to Despia here inside of the application, right? I can publish this now, export the code for Swift, or publish it to the App Store. I already have it published, and because I already have it published, let's see. I can get it on my test flight. Let's open that real quick here. Let's reload my App Store account. And I already have a version that's ready to submit in my test group. So 1 second. Let me go back here to our stream. I need to real quick log into my app store. Can we stop sharing the screen real quick? Here you go.
Yeah,
I
if you just let me know, you can share it when you're ready. We're on
Okay,
the
beautiful, beautiful. I need to real quick create a group here. There you go.
yeah. I did record a video earlier today where I shared my whole login token, but at least that should be expired by the time the video comes out. So
That's good. That's good. It's
yeah,
just with Apple, it's a little bit. You have a little bit more power with my iCloud password,
yeah,
especially considering that like my whole GitHub and all that is tied to it. Like,
yeah, it's
better
fine.
safe than sorry.
Just a spoiler alert: it's star 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 star.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
I used the same one. It's actually not secure. We should change it. Yeah.
Yeah. But now, as you can see, I got an email. Here from
Oh,
Test Flight that my app is ready for test flight. With one click on the Despia dashboard, I can open my app here, and now it's going to open that app in test flight, and then I can install it on my device and test it right here, what we built inside of Toddle. And I will be the witness to tell you if this vibrates or not.
can you put it near the microphone?
Let me try. So first of all, good news. Toddle Stream is trying to track my activity across other apps. Yeah, look at that. Let's allow that. Now Toddle Stream wants to send me push notifications. Oh, you can see that. Wants to send me push notifications. I'll allow that. It does vibrate. Let me know if you can hear that.
Oh,
Damn.
fair enough.
1 second. Let me put it on the desk. Let's see.
If you put it on the table, it should be fine.
Yeah, let's see. Can you hear it?
I can hear it a little bit now, but yeah, I'm sure it feels a little bit stronger than.
It feels beautiful. It's beautiful.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's just hard to show that in a video. But yeah, so we got that app inside of here.
Yeah.
We got that app inside of here, as you can see. Excellent. Beautiful. And now we kind of like, while we make edits inside of Toddle, we'll be able to see them on the editor. So let me close everything that's important real quick. Here you go. And now I can share my screen again, and we'll be able to go back in here.
Okay, let's go back to sharing your screen. Nope, I switched the wrong one. There we are.
There we go. Here you go. So now that we got that in Toddle, actually looking at this now on my device, that's actually why I like the idea of, while you develop, having that on your device. We want to actually make the text a little bit bigger for this task part here. So let's make this 15 pixels. And let's make this 14 pixels, right? So it gets easier to be seen. That is just, makes it easier for them not to look at something so small. But that looks beautiful, looks really good. So now we have our reminders in the app. Now, very simple application.
Is that already updated in the app? Do you already see that now?
Yeah. While I'm doing changes here, it automatically updates it to the app. So for example, here I can add a H3 inside of here saying, let's see, Andreas, hey, right? And if I go to the app, as you can see inside of here, it's going to, can you see my camera? Can you change the view or?
There we go.
It's going to say automatically, Andreas.
Oh, perfect.
There you go. So you can see what you do directly in the app and then how it interchanges with all the things that you're building. So that's pretty cool. But let's go back. Here you go. We can delete this now. And now I kind of like want to build my modal here. So we go in here. That's why when we add with modals, we want this to scroll and not the whole page to scroll, right? Otherwise it gets funky. But I add my div inside of here. Let's give it an attribute of modal. Emma, by the way, I use those attributes to name my components. How bad of an idea is that, Andreas?
I mean, to be honest, if you're, as I would recommend adding a hyphen to every name, because that's a little bit safer. But other than that, on web, the tags matter a lot. Like it doesn't matter actually if you call it app shell or div, but it matters if you get it H1P. It's a big impact on search engine optimization.
Of course.
And accessibility. Other
Yeah.
than, or obviously, I am like image elements only work as if the tag is
Yeah,
img.
of course that makes sense.
Yeah,
No, I'm just talking
but
about kind of like when I have something like app shell, something that's not a registered
yeah,
HTML element. I
there's
can do
it's
that.
honestly like accessibility. People who really care about it debate it endlessly. Some
Okay.
people believe that renaming things to your own names is better accessibility, not in general, but for people reading your
Shit.
app.
Oh, so we're now all accessibility experts about that
And
one.
some people are very much against it out of principle.
Yeah, I don't like the people who are against it. Like, let's you know.
Unless honestly, I mean, as long as the name you give it is not a HTML tag name, and I would also say as long as there's a hyphen in it, because then it'll never be an HTML tag name. Then there's nothing wrong with it. Like, go ahead and name the tags. Just don't do it for something that's supposed to be a heading or paragraph or anything semantic, right?
Right,
If there
then
is
like
a
or like for an article, because then like
yeah,
screen readers or like
exactly.
SEO stuff.
Or I mean, there's also a dialogue element, but yeah,
Right,
in this
but
case, we're
like
not using it.
I want to use like classes to animate it, and then I can like, you
By
know.
all means, go ahead.
There you go. So we got our modal here, and then I kind of like want to build a little form in here to create those things. So I got my form in here, and very simple. I'm adding a. Should we do an input or a text area? Let's do a text area. I think right. That's going to be better for a to-do list app with the 100%. And then let's do hide 3 rem. No, 5 rem. 6 rem. There you go. I do side padding 0.75 rem, top and bottom padding 0.75 rem, and then size 15 pixels. Oh, not 15 rem, 15 pixels. Here you go. And then we want to add the Vercel font, right? Here you go. And then I want to remove resize on that. So I just go to the CSS. Thank you for, by the way, keeping the CSS panel here.
Well, for now.
Ah. Resize none. There you go. There we have it.
No,
And
I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, but we are absolutely going to getting rid of that. But I promise we're replacing it with something better.
okay, so we'll make this. We don't need to. We make this autofocus false actually, and then we do placeholder, and we will do placeholder e.g toddle stream, right? And then in this form, we want to kind of like add a date picker. So I want to add an input element, and we want to add type date time. So I have a date and time picker. And then I want to give this an attribute called ID, called time. And then I want to go inside of this form and add a label. And then I remove the text in this label. And in this label, I can now add a button. And then I go to this label and I add the attribute for, and I put the ID of the date input. So it looks nicer. I can click on here. Shit, I'm submitting the form. I want to go on attributes, type button, but I should be able to then click. Damn, it doesn't work like with the file uploader for this one. Shit. Okay.
Well, I think in this case, you want to, like, the input should work for as long as you do the ID for the.
Right. I
for the
want the
text
native modal to open because, like, of styling, but we can just, because, like, you see,
Yeah.
like, but it won't matter when we render it into the mobile app anyway. So let's do 0.75 rem inside of here. So we can set the date. Then we want to do width 100% here. Then we can do hide 2.75 rem. Oh no, 2.2 rem is good. And then we add some, remove the focus here. So then we make this 8 pixels by 8 pixels here. Looks beautiful. We got that in here. We can click, we can select our date, time. Now, I need this into milliseconds from today. You may want to help me a little bit with that, how about we create a variable here that is a global variable called new event, right?
Yeah. That
And
makes
we
sense.
create a global object for that to manage it easier. And I'm going to do, we call that title, and then the value will be empty, and then we call that time stamp. Oh, damn it. Time
Yeah.
stamp. Here you go. And we have that empty as well. So what I need your help with, not yet. Let's see. We want to go in here, events, on input event. I want to go to a new event. I want to take new event. I want to set title, and the title should be set with the event target value, right?
Yes.
Here you go. And then the attribute here with the value should come from new event title. We want to do the same thing with the
That
time,
looks right. That looks
right?
right.
So
Yes.
we want to go on, not on click, my bad, on input, on the input event. And we want to go inside of here, and I want to go on the new event. I want to add new event, and I'm going to use set time stamp. That will be event target value. Beautiful. And then we go inside of here, and we will just remove the placeholder. We don't really need that because it's a time input. And then the value, we're going to go in here. That will be
New event.
new event, timestamp, and then we have that inside of here. So that's good. Now inside of this form, I want to add a button to create this new event. So I will make this button width 100%, height 2.75 rem, center, border 8 pixels, and then I'm going to make this gray 700. No, let's actually keep it blue. Here you go. Looks more like Apple. And then I'm going to say create new reminder. Create new reminder. And we're going to add the Vercel font. Very important, right? Very important. Here you go. Create new reminder, and then I can remove my fixed height here. And then I want to go here on the bottom padding and make it like 2.25 rem. So I get 2.5 rem. So I get a little bit space for the navigation bar. Beautiful.
Nice.
Very nice. I'm afraid to ask you how to make this close if I click outside of it. That's not something, that's something we probably want to work a little bit with events, but let's see how far we can get this working.
So I mean, the easiest way by far,
Mhm.
at least in my opinion, is just to put a big old invisible div that takes up the whole screen, and then when you click on that, you hide it.
That's one way of doing it, yes.
And if you're on normal web, and you also should probably handle escape, etc. But if you're on a mobile app, honestly, putting a big invisible button on the rest of the screen, it's a pretty solid approach.
You know, I'm going to make it myself even easier. I'm just going to add a close button right next to the normal button. You know,
That also works.
There you go. So I'm going to remove that, and then this will need to be with flex 1, and then this will need to be on this button with fit content. I'm going to remove hover. I'm going to go here, remove hover, and then I want to go to Relume icons, and I'm going to look at close. I'm going to take a close icon, copy for toddle.
Copy for
toddle. Put that in here. And I go to that side. I'm going to make 0.35 rem. There you go. So we can close it. It's also already in a pretty inconvenient position for everybody who uses the right hand. So that's fine. Hard to click on. It's always good. That's where I like to put my cancel subscription things on mobile apps usually.
That's where I put my cancel subscription buttons. So we got one comment down here after having talked about the CSS panel. So we're not getting rid of that. Well, that's not fair. We are totally getting rid of that, but again, we're replacing it with something much better. And it is what we basically learned is like a lot of times people understanding the CSS that lies behind toddle is a good thing, not a bad thing. So we want to go double down on it. We want to make, instead of having a little text area down there, we want to have a proper way for you to visualize the actual CSS that happens on a element. So we're not taking it away. Well, we are, but we're replacing with something that's going to be much, much better also for people who want to just like want to go and type some CSS if they want to do that. That we're not taking away that option. We're just not having it be a tiny text area in the bottom of the style panel.
Beautiful. So now I already went to this button and set the show modal to false. So now we want to animate that modal. And I get a lot of people asking me, how do I make nice animations in toddle? We're going to do that today. So I want to work with classes here. I make a class called hidden. And then I go on style, create a style for the hidden class. And then I'm going to use transform property. I'm going to make, oh, wrong. I'm always getting the wrong. I'm always confused about X and Y. I do minus 100%. Oh, wrong one. 100%. They'll remove it out of the screen. And that's good. And then we have default. On default, we want to add a transition of all elements, right? And then, now I can animate. So if I remove the hidden class for a bit, you see that it now animates beautifully. Just looks quite funky because of the scroll bar here, arc adds, but it should be fine. The only thing we need to do now is go on this parent here and go on layout, overflow clip, so we don't have that issue. But now I got my fancy animation here. Look at that. Beautiful, right? Good. Very nice. What we want to do though on this model, we may want to give this a relative position of z index 99, right? That's how you end up with having z index 9,999,900, and then I want to go back with my hidden class, go on FX, and I want to do show modal, and then needs to equals false, and then it will hide it. So now when I click in here, we vibrate, it opens it, right? And then when I go on this button here, I'm closing it, but I also, before I close it, want to do another haptic feedback.
Yeah.
For
more vibration, yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Heavy. We can't have enough vibration, right? And
I assume heavy is the lightest mode, and it only goes up from there.
No, it actually starts at light. But,
okay.
But we also have warning, right? This is like, it's a sequence. But, here you go. We got that beautifully, nicely working. So now when I put in here, stream, and I select a date, time, preferably in the future, right? I have that. Now I need your help, Andreas.
So can I add one? Can I add one little? There's a little trick here because
sure.
Again, when we're on mobile, most of the time we don't have to worry about keyboard interaction.
Sure.
But there are people running around with their iPads adding keyboards to them, and a mode like this, when we hide it and put it below the screen, we visually hide it. But if you have a keyboard, you can actually still navigate to it. But there's a trick where we can enable that. So if we go into the modal and add an attribute onto that modal element.
Yes.
That's called inert, I-N-E-R-T.
Oh, that's a class.
Yeah, we need to attribute.
Inert?
Inert, I-N-E-R-T.
Inert.
Yeah, inert. Yeah, exactly like that. And then the formula, and that should be, it's the formula. We want to use a formula because that should be true when the modal is hidden and basically false when it's not. And what that does is saying to the browser, saying, ignore all functionality inside this thing. There is nothing that you can touch or work with in here. You shouldn't, you shouldn't consider it.
If it's open, it should be inert false.
Yes, and if it's not, it should be inert true. And you can test it because if you got it backwards, it won't work. So at all.
Okay, that's cool.
So if you test it now and you can't close it, then well, that was probably it.
Okay, it's worked. There you go.
That means that now when that form is hidden, it's truly hidden and you can't interact with it at all.
Amazing. So
There's a nice
now,
little trick for that.
very cool. Now I want to go on this form here, and I want to go on form submit, right? Now I need your help because what we
Yes.
need to do is we need to send a push notification. So I
Yeah.
have local push. We can schedule local push notification. The title, we'll just hard code that here. This will see your reminder, right? And then now the message will be, of course, what we will schedule from this, new event. So we have new event, title, that's what the message will be. Now with the seconds, I need to, we have this future timestamp here, and I need to take the seconds from now when this will be scheduled. So now I need your help with that formula a little bit.
So you need to know how many seconds from now this thing will be. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
It's good.
How do we start?
So we start by taking the timestamp in the new event.
Okay. So new event, timestamp. Here you go.
And this is going to be a string because all inputs actually work with strings, which is super weird. But
Right.
that's how
We need
HTML
to
works.
adjust this when we.
No. Actually, it's not bad.
It's not bad. Okay.
No, we should leave it at, because the input's going to work like that. So when you update, and it makes the input work. So it's easier. We just pass it here.
You're right. Okay. So how do we do this now?
Well, I don't know if it's bad. It is a bit weird, but it's not bad. So here we can then do pass date, or just say date. It'll say some date from string.
Oh, sorry.
What's the other one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we have a real date. And then we get from that, I think, the timestamp, right? No, the other way. It's just timestamp.
Beautiful.
So that gives us this in milliseconds. And then I would say we subtract now. Minus, we didn't. I don't know why we called it minus instead of subtract, if I'm entirely honest. We might try and rename it or add a subtract. And then we do timestamp again here.
Yes.
That gives us the difference in milliseconds. And then we just divide. Well, divide by 1,000.
I wanted to do multiply by 0 point.
That also works, but I don't know. My brain doesn't work like that. 1,000.
1,000. There you go.
So that should give us the number. This is going to be a long demo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that should give us the time in seconds before
That's cool. Very cool. So let's see. Can we get a shorter demo? So
maybe we should try it.
Okay, let's take this here. Right now we have it.
We should schedule it for. We should almost schedule it for just 5 minutes before. Or actually, just schedule it in 1 minute. That's probably
right. Let's go here. Today is the 13th. We have 12. So we'll go. Let's do it for 12. Here you go. We have 51. Let's see what the formula is saying. It's a little bit in the past even, but
that just flipped. It's just flipped to 51, but that's pretty good.
There you go. That's good.
So maybe just schedule it for 2 minutes if we're going to test on the
right, and then we can add some little formula here
where
if it's not, we just do it in 10 seconds. So if it's in the negative, so we can just take this. It's going to be a long formula. We just remove everything, and we will do if. Put that in here, and we'll turn it into a string. Includes minus, then we'll schedule it for 10 seconds. Else, we're going to put this inside of here. There we go. So your reminder, stream, URL, we just add our deep link. So we just make sure it opens the app, because Despia has deep linking. You can also, set another URL.
Oh, okay, that just means when you click it, it opens. Oh, yeah, of course, it opens your app. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it should automatically do it, but just to make sure, because we're demo here, we want to make sure it actually works. And then we want to now write this to local storage. So we want to close the cycle here, not just remind the user, but also actually show this on the interface here, because we don't want to make a database thing out of that, because whenever I suggest Xano, people always get upset. So we'll just use local storage today. You won. So we're going to reset the new event information here. So I do new event.
Xano is great, but have you tried local storage?
Exactly. I wanted to
That's
make a
pretty
password manager
Yeah.
in local storage, right? There you go. We'll put the timestamp. There you go. And now this should reset everything. Oh, not item. We want to reset everything. Here you go. And then we also want to close the modal. So show modal, false. So then, we kind of schedule that. Oh, we forgot a very important thing. Success haptic, right? So we go on haptic feedback, right? And I'm going to go mode success. And then we vibrate.
The success. Oh.
The success is.
So did you both save to mobile storage and?
Now, the cool thing is with Despia, it automatically inherits the local storage that runs inside of Toddle. So we just use the native local storage. So that makes it easier to sync your web app with your mobile app. So what we're doing now, very simple, is we need to create a cycle for the local storage. So what we do is on load, we're going to set the reminders variable from get from local storage reminders, right? We're going to copy that. And then when I create a new event, we're going to go in here inside of that form. And we are going to go, here you go, form. We go inside of here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use set local storage. So I do save to local storage. Key will be reminders, and the value will be the new created array. So reminders. So I'm creating the cycle. Now, we want to kind of like adjust the initial one a little bit because you see sometimes there are some issues when it writes null to it so that we don't, and then, we can't append to it. Actually, there are a few other things we need to fix because with new event, we're setting new event, but we also need to add it to reminders, right? So I forgot that. So we also need to go to reminders here and take the current reminders and append the new item. So the new event to reminders, right? And then we probably want to do that before we wipe out new event, preferably.
That will make for a better result, I think. Yes.
It'll help a little bit. And then we need to kind of like solve it a little bit here, because on load, if local storage, we kind of like need to add an if statement here, right? If local storage, should I do equals null, or what's the best way to make sure
I just do not. Like, that's like, if not local storage, then
you can do this?
Yeah.
That works?
Oh. If it's not null, then it's true.
It's a good point. So in here,
it's not nothing.
Right. So then we get local storage on else, but actually there it is null right now, so it shouldn't be true.
No, if it's not, it is null, and then you say not.
Right, but this makes it true right now.
Yeah. So
on true, I put my empty.
Then array. You want to go to then you want to get from local storage, and then remove the not. That's fine.
Oh, yeah. I just want to do this, but then it says null here.
Yeah, but that's fine because right now that's null and false are both false.
But right now it's returning it from local storage.
Yeah. So right now it says so you got to say if it's in local storage, return the one from local storage, right?
Yes, but when there is null in local storage, I want to start with an empty array so I can push new things in it. Yeah. This seems to work. Let's see.
Yeah, you got to swap the two around.
Let's see. Let's reload the editor. Let's see. reminders. Yeah, we have an empty array. And then I want to also then sync this with the new local storage. So I go to local storage, right? Save to local storage, reminders, and then I do the value, and I will, it's kind of like a whole cycle that we're creating now, the new value. So we're always in sync if it just is now. Here you go. So we have the reminders here. So let's see if this works. I think we're good. We got, right? You didn't see any errors. Let's try this again. Here you go. How can I share my iPhone in here? Is there a way?
I don't think there's a way to do that, to be honest.
Extra
No.
screen
Not
share.
not an easy one. I would say the best one is probably using the camera.
I'll hold it into the camera. Here you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, looks promising already. Look at that. Yeah. Let me remove my blur. How do I do this? Shit, I can't remove my blur. Ah, damn it. I feel like you can see it kind of.
Yeah,
right?
we get the.
So let's do here stream. I just created one, and the time will be at 1, right? We're close before 1.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try 1 p.m. Done. Just created. Now I go and create reminder. It did vibrate. It did edit as undefined. We probably have to fix that. But it did something. Let's see if the push notification comes. In the meantime, we want to fix this a little bit and see how it runs in the toddle editor, right? Let's see. Thank God I have the CEO with me. Let's go here. Let's do stream. We will take something in the future. Create reminder. You see it adds it as null.
Okay, let's go and have a look at the new event is what now?
Did add it as title. Oh, damn it. Timestamp.
It's yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of like messed up the whole structure.
Well, it's name and then timestamp and completed. That's correct.
Right.
So, wonder why timestamp is not there.
I set it as title. That's probably the issue.
But we can fix that pretty easy enough, right?
Right. That's easy.
Submit.
So the issue is when we edit, right? That's the issue. So we just go in here, and when we go to the form, I
think it's the new event when it's the
right.
It's the
when
input in the text area, right?
Yes, we just need to rewrite it. When we add it in here, we need to add an object, right? And this object will need to include the new structure. So the structure was name, timestamp, and completed. Oh, damn it. Yeah. Completed. Here you go. Completed will be by default false because I just scheduled it. Name will come from new event title, and then this will come from new event timestamp. And actually, the timestamp is a date. So what was our formula again to get this to the timestamp? We need to.
But do you save it if it? Oh yeah, then it's date from string. Yeah, like that.
And then we do timestamp.
No, it should just be date from string.
But we need this as a timestamp, right? The way we set it up.
Oh, then timestamp.
Okay. Let's see.
Did you set it as a timestamp in the original? Okay.
Yeah. Let's try that. Let's take something in the future. There you go. Yeah, that looks good.
Hey,
beautiful. Let's go here. Let's add 0.5 rem gap inside of here. And then, we can check those in our list. So how about actually we create a functionality in here to clear everything? I think that may be useful. So we do button called clear. And we'll make this 0.5 rem and height 0.35 rem. And we're going to add the Vercel font, size 13. There we go. Here you go. We got that in here. So now we can clear it. We want to remove the hover. I think I spent most of my time in toddle removing your hovers. On click, we want to do a few things. I want to set reminders to be an empty array. And then I want to set local storage. This is automatically going to use the native local storage here, right? It's going to set local storage, save to local storage here. And then it's going to add reminders. Then we do the value here. Value will be the current reminders array. There you go. And that, because we already cleared that. So now if I click in here, it should clear. There we go. So we got the reminders. And then let's add one in here. Let's double check that everything is working with our reminders. So I do stream. I click, one in a minute. And let's look at this here on the form on submit. When I do the local push, the issue is we have this with a decimal. We can't schedule that in Despia if it has a decimal. So should I just do round?
Yeah.
That's good, right? We got round here. Beautiful. That'll give it round. This will set it. Message will be stream. That looks good. Title looks good. You will set that. This looks good. Let's try it out on the app. Let's close the app here.
Exciting.
Exciting, right? I want to clear everything first. Here you go. Let me schedule that. Can you change the view so we can...
Yeah.
Here you go. Let's go on. Done.
I think, can I even...
So I did create my reminder.
So we can see.
A reminder. I hope I created fast enough to show the push notification. Actually,
it's real exciting times, because if it's too long, right? If it's too short, it's going to be in the past. And if it's too long, we're all going to sit here and wait. So yeah.
Sorry for. Let's hope it works.
Ooh.
I probably should have added like an
when did you set it for?
Let's see. That's right. Give me a second here. How about we alter the code to show all of them in 10 seconds?
Perfect.
There you go. Actually, how about we do like 10, because I can't wait a little bit. There you go. It's the most useless reminder app now, but...
Now, look, everything should be done now. You shouldn't wait until tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, just get it done.
We should have done the app that...
We all know you build a reminder app just because you're procrastinating. It's just going to tell you to do it now anyway.
Exactly. So let's see. It should come as a push notification. Did I allow push notifications when installing the app? Shit.
I think it said yes.
I think I said yes. Let's hope I said yes. See, it should come.
I mean, we shouldn't do these live demos, but we
shouldn't do them. No,
we do enjoy it.
Live demos are terrible. This development. Let me actually deinstall the app and make sure I have push notifications allowed on that app. Let's go back to test flight here.
So I hope you can talk while you're debugging, because I have a few questions about Despia.
Of course.
So, like, we've already seen haptic feedback, which is like one of the things it's one of the things. Well, no, we've heard it.
We've heard
both firsthand and secondhand.
Yes.
One of the things that I've have fingers crossed they would add to the web platform for years, but it's not on the way, it seems. Like it seems to be blocked consistently. So if you want haptic feedback, like you need a wrapper like this, right? There's no way to do that
Yes.
on native today. Um, what else? And I know you mentioned Face ID. We've seen like
We can add
push
Face
notifications.
ID. Yes, push notifications. I think I shouldn't have updated the framework shortly before the stream and like myself use the test version. Uh, eh, I didn't get a push notification yet. I need to investigate on that. But
If so, we just like go and I think we're talking about sharing this template we built the reminder afterwards, right? So people can see how we build it.
right, right,
Yeah,
yes, yeah, we'll share the template. I mean, I'll investigate why that.
and then, as well as the make sure it's the right version of Despia as well, right?
Right, we'll
So
make
people
sure
can go and try it out themselves
exactly.
and
We'll make sure
feel
everything
the heaviness of the haptic feedback. Yeah,
you can feel the heaviness of the haptic feedback. Yes, but I
excellent,
mean, we want to have some native features today. So how about we just add a useless Face ID inside of here, right?
excellent.
How about that, right? So, like, here's a great thing that we can do. On this button, we'll withhold. We have the haptic feed. No, we'll withhold the haptic feedback. Uh, Actually, no, I'm not a fan of withholding haptic feedback. Let's add a
No,
sleep real quick. Let's do 100 millisecond sleep, and then we will withhold the show modal. But I go in here on biometric auth, biometric verification. I just sent an email out yesterday. Improvements to haptic feed, improvements to push notifications. I gotta send a new one today. Fixes in push notification.
fixed
Then on
improvement.
on bioauth success, and then on bioauth failure, I'm going to send an alert. Here you go, saying it's not you. Right? There you go. Beautiful.
Perfect.
Right? Let's see.
Yes,
Can you change the view again?
I will switch it back.
So there you go. Now, see, come on, move up. Ah, damn it. I hate Apple's
You
blur.
got to put it in front of your face because it's gonna detect your face and focus on it every time.
Beautiful. Look at that. So I click on here, and now it's asking, do you want to allow Face ID? I'm allowing it this time. And now it's saying it's not your face. And I will try again. And now I
It
put
is
my
not.
face in here. And then only once my face is scanned, I'll get the modal. And it uses the native data that's already on your phone, right? So now I can close and get haptic feedback. Now, what happens if I don't show my face in here, right? We're going to have actually the functionality to, block my whole iPhone now. So let's enter the wrong passcode here a few times. And now it says iPhone unavailable. So like this native app built in Toddle now blocked my whole iPhone.
Anybody who has small children are very, very familiar with this particular screen.
There you
It's yeah, I see this screen daily.
go. Shit, now I can't.
Exactly. We're not demoing anything for the next couple of minutes, though. I just want to say I'm really sad that you were not able to participate in the bad UX hackathon because I think Face ID before showing any modal is up there. Like I think that could score really high.
I do think so too.
So
I also think having push notifications that don't work also adds level.
I mean that was just no, that was basic, that was entry level. That's just getting started. Yeah. But anyway,
I mean, but we're not withholding anything. You see it live, right? Sometimes
exactly.
this is development, right? Sometimes it
Yes.
works, sometimes it doesn't. You make a support ticket, we'll fix it.
I think it's really important when, especially you have tools that in many ways make development so much easier. We
Yeah,
don't want to give off the impression that it's not still painful from now. It is.
of course, of
There's a
course.
lot of that, right? There's a lot of that
Oh,
in
we had
any
a few
tool.
questions.
We have a question. We should go to questions, I think. Let's have a look.
Do you have foreground in-app and background notifications implemented? Might be why we weren't seeing. Yeah, we have that. We have full background push notification access. We also have remote push notifications using the One Signal SDK. But right before the stream, I did make some updates to Despa, and actually We can show you proof on my Discord that I said, Andreas, I just broke Despia 15 minutes before the stream. We just fixed it. He's my witness, right? I did send you that, right?
Yes. I'm not sure why you broke it, but yeah.
Right? So I broke it
Yeah.
15 minutes before. And, because I'm in development branch, I see I have it under the development version. It shouldn't impact any other apps, but, so that is why it wasn't working, because I was doing some changes and I broke it by mistake. But we'll fix it ASAP, right? But background notifications work, and you have local push. So you have local push and remote push with one signal. It probably would have worked if we were to use it with one signal, but we implemented the feature because if you send local push, they weren't sending if the app is open. They were only sending when the app was closed. And we added that feature so you can still see them when the app is open. So you still get that notification. And I need to look into that and probably merge some branches, because it was done from the release branch and not the main branch of our GitHub this time.
Excellent. So we had one more questions here, but this was kind of back to the whole CSS box, which is not really what today's about, but
I mean,
I'll have you to answer it anyway.
Right? CSS
So the question is if inline CSS will be moved automatically to the new CSS box when pasted in toddle. And actually, we're completely separate from all of that, also working on doing that as well. And potentially the same if you have like paste HTML with Tailwind. We're looking at a bit potentially doing the same, so having it past the Tailwind into toddle. But I don't have a timeline for when we're rolling that out yet. But it is something we're looking into. So it'll be soon, but it won't be next week. Right. Well, I think we also good. Roughly hit our mark on 1 hour. So I think I don't think we have any more questions.
Oh shit! No! Push notifications are coming.
Hey! Also, we just added math.
I know.
We just added math. Where
I deinstalled the app. I opened it in test flight again. Nice. Now it's working. There you go.
Excellent.
Actually,
well, remember to stream.
I do think what I think the issue was. I just added a button that only sends a push notification. If the app is open, I don't get them. Oh, actually, no, I get them. Shit. What happened?
You turned it off and on again.
Look at this. Like, I got none.
You get all of it. Excellent.
I mean, it does work now. Look at this. Like 23 push notifications from
Beautiful. This is the screen of a true developer's phone. Like, this is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like. Yes.
Yeah.
So I did something wrong. Like, this is like.
Yeah, but I mean, it works.
I don't know. If I would know, I would, I would have the solution if I would know. I think maybe some of the things we did with timestamps got lost in translation.
So we got one more. I think we got one more question, and I think we should probably round off.
Absolutely.
So the one more. This I think is an interesting question. What is the tipping point for choosing a native app, especially in terms of performance? And the way I interpret this is like, when do you choose this solution of toddle plus Despia, and when would you go for a full native app?
Right. My opinion on native apps is there are great native apps frameworks, and Swift is amazing. Java is amazing. SwiftKit is great. If you're building a mobile application and you're building something like WhatsApp, or you're building something like Instagram, I'm not saying that you shouldn't build this in toddle, but I do think probably going a native mobile application route is the best way to go, right? I think, that is the best way to do that if you're mobile first, if you build a mobile first, for example, social media platform, right? Where you have a lot of users, you need a lot of horsepower under it. And quite frankly, every time people open the app, you would pay. If you use this web-based technology, you would pay for hosting, right? When you have something Swift that runs mostly locally, it'll probably be a little bit of a cheaper invoice at super massive scale, millions tens of millions of users than going a web route. Now, if you're going to build something that is a smaller app, I don't see any limitations why you shouldn't go this route, because especially you can build your MVP in Despia and then, publish an update that uses a completely different framework like Flutter or like Swift UI kit and all that kind of stuff, or go with a different tool like Flutterflow, right? So I think if you choose a no-code approach in making a mobile application, if it's a mobile application that is a chat app, that is that kind of a thing, and you really want to go full mobile, like fully mobile, and you want to maybe have an Apple Watch app, going with real native mobile development is probably the best way to do it. But if you want to have something that's hybrid, that's web and mobile, I think going with a scalable web application framework, and I wanted to say like Toddle. I think the only one out there is Toddle, so I can't even say like Toddle. It's Toddle, right? Going with Toddle and then going with Despia to make it into a mobile app using the powers that the packages gives you is a good way to get an app out there with less limitations. We may need to give you some extra support in terms of push notifications, but I think it's a good way of doing that. But there are certainly other frameworks. There is, I think, something called Nova to build Flutterflow apps. There's Flutter to build Flutterflow apps. There's Flutterflow. There's DraftBit. They're great tools. They're amazing, right? But my frustration was I'm a web app developer and I can build better web apps that are responsive than mobile apps. And I want to make sure that I have something that's not like Capacitor, where I'm cutting back on a lot of features and functionalities and on performance, right? And I have all those bells and whistles while still being in a web editor. That's a personal preference at the end of the day. I do think there are no scalability concerns when it comes to Toddle. The only scalability concerns you have to worry about when you use Despia is the scalability concerns about Toddle, and there are no with Toddle, right? And we got the CEO right here to confirm that.
No, we're good.
Beautiful. So that's the thing, right? Because Despia doesn't run anything on their server. There's actually another tool I saw whenever users move, because Despia also has background location and just executes your Toddle workflows, rewrites them, executes them in the background while the app is closed, which is quite cool. Automatically, no setup needed. That's the cool thing about it. But there's another app that actually sends it to their server, another framework that kind of like it's like a wrapper tool, a little bit less functionalities than Despia, but they send it to their server first, and then their server sends your server a webhook, which may not be fully GDPR compliant with like user location information. And for example, Despia just lets you execute your secure Toddle workflow in the background while the app is closed. So you have that functionalities, and everything that you do when you build your mobile app inside of Toddle and Despia runs through Toddle just in a mobile application, and you'll get that 2,000 files. You can add features yourself in there if you want. You can mess around with that in Xcode to your liking.
Yeah, I would also add, and this is actually I have a final added question for you. So you mentioned here another solution that would send people's location to a server without them knowing, which is obviously not okay, not even a little bit. But the other thing is that it's not okay with Apple either. So that kind of stunt, if you will, runs a very high risk of being banned from the App Store, right? And Apple, I think, wherever you fall,
right,
they're not that hesitant from banning people from the App Store. They do like doing it.
Twitter? You saw the post on Twitter. Someone was like, I saw you comment under there, like, you made like 12 silly apps. No wonder you got banned.
Well, that was a slightly different, but I mean, I do think for better or for worse, Apple are happy to ban apps they don't think should be there, and I think a lot of cases it's for the good of the community that these apps aren't being let in.
There is a wonderful thing that Apple has. They have like the Joker card. It's called minimum functionality. And usually every wrapper out there, when you try to submit a wrapper ad to the App Store, it's going to get minimum functionality, a violation.
Yeah. So how do you get around that?
Build a native mobile app. That's how you get around that. Build a mobile app that adds value, that uses native functionalities. Here's what Apple says, and I do agree 100% with Apple's argument, right? Their argument is, If you want to build a web app, build a PWA. Don't put this on the App Store. If
Yeah.
you want to make a mobile app and you want to take the resources that mobile apps provide to you, build a mobile app. But if you build anything else besides of that, you don't belong on here, right? And that's a valid clause. And I always repeat that Despia is not a way to get your shitty web app on the App Store. It's a way to make hybrid applications and also, distribute your mobile application through the App Store, through the Google Play Store. The focus on Despia is not a way of distributing something that is a web app and getting it on the App Store. The emphasis on adding native functionalities, adding native features, adding Face ID, adding in-app purchases, adding Apple Pay, all native things that run
Yeah.
all the native SDKs, haptic feedback, right? Background location, real-time location. Really, you move your iPhone from here to here, it sends that event, right, in your toddle workflow. Those native functionalities that PWAs installed on your phone don't have, Despia gives you access to. It's the bridge that lets you access things that functionalities that PWAs don't allow you to have access to. That is the solution that Despia solves, that you can publish it to your to the App Store is a bonus, right? And because the emphasis on building those things is why you can get it approved by the App Store. Rather simple. Of course, Apple will usually say things like, oh, your screenshots don't include an Apple device. But like those were the rejections we had with, those are soft rejections, right? So soft rejections are like you mess up your product description, but they let you fix it. It's not a ban, right? It's like change this in your app. They usually tell you change this and we'll approve it, right? And then people get it approved after they, change their description or removed some things of their app Apple didn't like. And or sometimes they just do a rejection because they want additional information. What are you doing with the location and all of that? But you won't get the bans with Despia unless you kind of like do crazy stuff with it and send your locations to some
It's
random
still
servers,
possible.
right? You can still do that because it is such a beautiful framework, but we hope that you don't.
I mean, this is the same thing we ran into. Toddle was like, if we want to allow people to do really complicated and impressive things, we also need to allow them to do really dumb things. And that's like, and bad things. Like, there's no, if you want that the freedom for developers, like it obviously also comes with the cost, right? But
Of
that's,
course.
I think, the way it should be.
Yes.
So thank you very much for doing this and for showing us Despia. It looks fantastically cool. I can't believe you built it in Toddle.
Fully built in Toddle.
I'm really psyched.
It was the
Because
best
it looks
experience of my
fantastic.
life building Despia and Toddle. I've tried everything else. I've used custom code, built the front end in Webflow, all of those things. Oh, we got a question. Is Despia GDPR compliant? It is as GDPR compliant as your Toddle app. It doesn't proxy anything in the middle. Your user's location won't get sent to a Russian server or whatever, right? It is, unless you do that, right? If you want to send it somewhere, that's up to you. But if your Toddle app is GDPR compliant, Despia is just a mirror of your Toddle app, rendering it as a native mobile app with native functionalities. Even the Despia SDK, right? Because other tools out there want you to add a script tag to your Toddle project or to your WeWeb project to add the bridge on there, right? We don't even have an SDK that you put on the web app. You know why? That would probably be served from Cloudflare or from any other free, and that can come from the United States, and you may not be GDPR compliant because we would probably want to host that for free, right? I want to get like a $10,000 a week invoice for cloud hosting when people have millions of users in their app. So what we do, the native SDK that you would have to add on your website, on your web app for it to work, right, is actually added inside of the local files that make your mobile application. So the SDK is added as a Swift SDK, working with JavaScript and looking at your total JavaScript hooks locally on the device. It's not hosted anywhere. It's hosted on a user's device. So, it's fully local. So there is no third party that is kind of like in the middle getting your user's data. But if you have any third parties inside of Toddle, that may be a problem, but that is something you have to fix on your Toddle app. But Despia is just a mirror of your Toddle app.
Yeah.
just not native.
And I mean, and the answer is the same with toddle, right? Toddle is GDPR compliant if you are.
Exactly.
And the next question after that is, especially with GDPR, is usually what is the backend situation, right? Because 9 times out of 10, that's it's where your data is stored. That's the most important part.
Right. We won't send your user's location to any server. You will get that raw data in toddle, and then we'll let you handle that, right? We don't want to have anything to do with your GDPR situation. You'll be able to fully manage that yourself with the beauty of toddle, and it makes it pretty simple where you send your data to. And then if you use a backend that is GDPR compliant, such as Xano, right, that makes it even simpler.
Exactly. Well, so I think that's it. Thank you everyone who joined in, and thank you for the questions. We pretty much hit the mark on 1 hour. I think we're pretty close.
And we're finally receiving push notifications.
And we got we're getting all the push notifications. Perfect. So yeah, and thank you once again to No Code Pro Code for joining us and for showing us Despia and building this fantastic reminders app. I really appreciate it, and it was incredible how easy it was. Well, how easy you made it look, at least,
It's
to get
pretty
something like
easy.
this done, right?
It's very easy thanks to the power of toddle, because the beautiful thing is Despia lets you build mobile applications and the native logic for mobile applications directly in the editor that you already know and love, toddle. That's the magic about it.
Perfect. Well, I need to go and add my band app as add some haptic feedback to a lot of my shitty web apps, so I can get them published in the App Store.
I mean, I think, like, you may not get them in the App Store, but you get public test flight beta, so meaning everybody can download them. Like, actually, most users that kind of like make apps where they are like, Apple will never approve this, you know what they do? They make a public test flight beta. This will let you distribute your app publicly, but you won't have the Apple guidelines, and you can take in-app purchases outside of Apple.
So there's your
I'm
little.
not saying you should do this, but I'm just saying it's possible.
He is kind of. It sounds like he's saying that though. Yeah. Sounds like endorsement.
I mean, this is only if you do anything that's against Apple guidelines, right? Like,
Yep. But anyway, thank you very much for showing it. Thank you for building a fantastic product. And yeah, I highly recommend people checking it out if they're looking to add native functionality to their applications.
it also works
Yeah.
now with iPad and Vision OS and Android. So whoever has Apple Vision Pro.
Excellent. Yeah. But yeah, thank you everyone for